Hey, strong woman. Today we are talking about that recent breakup. I am a transformation life coach and I help strong, driven, highly successful women to crush their pattern of toxic relationships with men and overcome their secret struggles with negative self-talk, self-doubt, and lack of confidence. So let's get into it. Another breakup? Really? Listen. You're strong, you're driven, you're highly successful. That's why you're watching this video. But let me be clear. Your success and your drive and your strength of character and personality. When I say strong, I don't mean like, oh, loud and forceful. No, I mean that you have proven by the way that you live your life that you have overcome tremendous challenges and obstacles, and you just keep going forward. You're a winner. You've accomplished a lot. You're succeeding in your career. I mean, you are doing a lot of really incredible things despite perhaps your circumstances or your beginnings, your origin story. Maybe there was some circumstances you really had to work to overcome. So that's what I mean when I say strong, but that's who you are. And a lot of strong women have this belief that when they get into a relationship and guys break up with them, it's because, oh, he was intimidated by me. Listen, that is not what happened, okay? Your strength, your drive, your leadership capabilities, your success are all positive qualities. So those are not the reasons why he broke up with you. Okay, so I want to go ahead and debunk that right now. They're not intimidated by you. What it is that you have been dealing with men who are not on the same page as you. That's the real issue. It's that you guys were never on the same page or in sync at all, ever. And so it was a mismatching. And so that's why it's not working. That's why it keeps not working. It's a pattern. And so because you haven't broken your pattern, your relationship attraction pattern, your pattern of being in toxic relationships, your pattern of being in relationships with men who ghost you, who are emotionally unavailable, who don't do for you what you do for them, and you're giving and giving and giving and not getting back what you're putting out in return. Does that sound familiar? That's a pattern that has to be dealt with, and it has nothing to do with your success, okay? I just want that to be totally clear. Now, the problem with a pattern is because you've been through it so many times, you no doubt at this point are probably feeling drained, tired, and really probably just hopeless. Like, oh, there's no good men, or, oh, I give up. I'm just going to be alone. I've heard so many women say that to me, that, I've just decided, I thought I really just, I figured I was just going to have to be alone. No, listen, I want to give you a really great example. So if you're a businesswoman and you're in marketing, you know that when you put out your messaging, okay, you have to have the right audience, or you end up attracting people who are not a right fit for your product, right? So you have to have the right audience, or your messaging doesn't attract what it is that you want as far as a good customer. So your messaging is good. You're smart, you're funny, you're attractive, you've done all these great things in your life, but you're talking to the wrong audience. You're not talking to men who want a commitment. You're not talking to men who want to be married. You're not talking to men who want to be monogamous. Okay. You're not talking to men who are on the same page as you, who want what you want. So it's not your messaging that's wrong. It's your audience. And so how do you fix that? Well, we draw to ourselves. We're attracted to what is familiar. That's what is creating that pattern. So a really quick and dirty example, and I want to be very specific here. There are a multitude of reasons that can be why a person keeps ending up in a toxic relationship. But my niche, where I help my clients, is women who their pattern originates in their relationship with their parents, with their fathers specifically, okay? So that's what I'm going to speak to. Your origin could be something totally different, and that's fine, but I'm speaking to this, okay, in this video, because this is my niche and this is where I help my clients at. This is where it really happens, okay? So if, let's just say, for example, because there's a lot of different scenarios around dad that can show up in a lot of different ways in your relationship. So we'll just say, let's say your father was emotionally unavailable. And you keep finding yourself in relationships with men who don't pay you attention. You feel like you're the one that's doing all the texting. You feel like you're the one that's making all the plans. You get the feeling like he doesn't even care, or like it gives you the feeling like he just has something better to do. And so what's familiar to your mind is the way this man makes you feel, because you're used to being ignored, not made to feel important or valued by a man. So that's what you're drawn to. Even on a conscious level, that's not what you want. That's what's familiar. It's what you know. And so your mind is not designed to go out and do what's good for you, just what's familiar. Now, the good news about that is you absolutely can change it. You can crush that pattern and no longer be stepping out there with your messaging being directed at the wrong audience. You can step out there and actually now be drawing and attracting to you the type of men that are looking for a commitment, that want to be married, that are serious and looking for what it is that you're looking for. I know you've heard the expression like attracts like, okay? So if you're seeing the same type of guy showing up in your life, there's a reason for that. There is something about him or that scenario or situation that is familiar to you. And that's why you keep kind of playing it out over and over in your life. And so you can break it. And in fact, like I told you, that is what I help my clients to do. Now, for purposes of this video, what you could do really quick for yourself is think about your last 2 to 3 relationships, okay? And then I want you to think about how those relationships made you feel. What were the similarities in how you felt in those relationships? What were the similarities in the qualities and characteristics of the men that you were dealing with? And then I want you to think back to your childhood and ask yourself, was there a male figure significant in your early childhood life that possessed those qualities, characteristics, or made that relationship made you feel that way? Okay? Because if there's a connection, it goes boing and you can see it like, whoa, okay, that's where it's coming from. So now, boop, we can crush it. How? Because listen, patterns, limiting beliefs, all those things, they're functioning in the background of our minds, like, on that subconscious, unconscious level. So we're not aware of it. But once we're aware of it and we are shining a light in that dark corner of our mind and saying, hey, what is this? Now we have an awareness of it. Okay. So that's really kind of the first step. The first key is awareness. Now you can acknowledge, I get it. That makes sense. Yes, this is the same thing I keep seeing over and over. This is the same thing I keep feeling, and that keeps happening to me over and over. Why can't I seem to do something different? And so this is why, but this is how. So the first step is awareness. So now when a man comes into your life, you will pick up on those red flags, right? And you'll be like, okay. But now kind of where it gets a little like, okay, but what do I do now? I see where I've gone wrong and drawn this into my life, but now how do I draw or attract something different to me? Well, the next step is you have to get clear on what exactly it is that you want. Just like if you buy a red car, then you go out on the road and all you see is red cars. It's the same thing. If you're clear on what you want, then when you go out, that's what you're going to see. Okay, that's what you're going to be looking for and attracting. And by doing that, getting clear on what you want, literally writing it down on paper in pen, with a pen. By doing that, what you're really creating for yourself is a standard. So now when a guy shows up in your life, you can measure him by your standard. You can know, is he matching my pattern? Is he bringing those old feelings and create? Okay, because then you can cut it off at the past. You're like, oh, I see where this is going, and you don't have to keep playing out the scenario months and years into a relationship. You can just nip it in the bud right away before the relationship even starts. Because sometimes our biggest problem is people will tell us who they are. We're just usually not listening, or we're making excuses. And so those are the 2 things that you can do. Okay, 1, do that little background work on yourself, like I explained. And 2, get clear on what it is that you want. So that's just a couple of tips, and I hope that you find them helpful. Now, if you feel like, okay, that's great, it's a good start, but I really would like someone to help me really do a little bit more deeper work so I can make sure that I'm solid on this, that I've really hit the nail on the head here and I can really move forward with confidence, then I would encourage you to reach out to me. Because what I do as a transformation life coach is I help strong, driven, highly successful women to crush their pattern of toxic relationships with men and deal with their secret emotional struggles with negative self-talk, self-doubt, and lack of confidence. Now, why do I say secret struggles? Because strong women usually are seen as very confident and not doubtful. But we're not perfect. We're still human. And so we are not that way in every single area of our lives. And for purposes of this video, when it comes to relationships. So that's where I'm going to be able to help you. And so I would encourage you to go ahead and schedule a consultation. I work with a very limited number of clients, in fact, 2 at a time. So you definitely want to reach out to me as soon as possible so that there's no delay in us getting started on working together. Now, I work with my clients one-on-one for 3 months in my premium unlimited coaching program. Granted, at the time of this video, that's the program, but it could change, depending on when you're watching this. So you'll just have to, reach out to me and find out what's going on or check my website. But all those details will be in the description box below on how to find me, on the different social media platforms, my website, and then also how to schedule a free consultation. So I hope that this video was helpful to you. I thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, share it with a friend if you found this beneficial. And I look forward to seeing you here.